Hello fellow hunters, today I want to go over bow progression and low rank. Understanding what armor pieces will help you complete the main story and which ones you should actively look for will help set you up for success to begin your high rank journey. I have played through the low rank story twice already using bow, and I've put together a solid progression set for each major milestone. For those of you that are avoiding spoilers, please know that I can't give a complete guide to low rank without spoiling some monsters. I'll create timestamps in case you don't want to be spoiled on any monsters or fights. I'm going to look to keep this succinct, but if you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them below along with a like and subscribe. Thanks. With that, let's get into it. Starting out, your hunter will be given a set of Hope Armor and a Hope Bow. These are actually pretty strong starting pieces given that they give you 3 ranks of Divine Blessing. Divine Blessing rank 3 will reduce damage taken by 50% when it activates. For any new hunters out there, this is a really strong benefit to maintain through all of Chapter 1. Most of the initial monster fights don't actually have any great beneficial skills for bow specifically. Do know that as you progress through the game, you will get larger armor spheres, and the small ones you currently have will become less valuable for higher rank gear, so it benefits you to use them early and often. Your first priority in Chapter 1 should be picking up the Quematrice bow. While it only supports close range and exhaust coating, it has fire element and 5% affinity. This will help you land more critical strikes as you progress through Chapter 1. You'll also make sure to equip the Hope Charm Talisman as you receive it as a pre-order bonus. You will continue to use this until you unlock Talisman crafting in the Oil Well Basin in Chapter 2. At the end of Chapter 1, I suggest crafting the Uth-Duna bow. Although it does have a negative affinity, it has a high attack and high water element, and will counter many of the monsters in the Oil Well Basin. I would also suggest crafting the Waste if you have the additional materials, due to the fact that it will help you move around the Oil Well Basin's oil silt while fighting monsters like Rompompolo. As you progress Chapter 2, Eye of the Storm, you will encounter Raydao, and this is the first monster that you'll decide to farm a few times before continuing the main mission quest. Once you've slain the monster in the main story mission, you can go to Alma and repeat the mission as an optional quest for additional part farming. The Rayperconus 1 is a very strong offering as it benefits your bow's charge times with focus and your Dragon Piercer, Thousand Dragons, and Tracer Shot damage with special ammo boost. It additionally allows you to use pierce coatings, which are very useful when fighting large bosses with complex hitboxes. You'll also want to craft the Raydao chest piece for Constitution, which will help with stamina management. Continuing through the Oil Well Basin chapter quest, take the opportunity to pick up Dragonite Ore, Fire Cell Stones, and Macalite Ore. If you've already managed to pick up Earth Crystals from the Windward Plains, this will allow you to craft a couple of pieces of the Ingot set to improve your Hope pieces, which will allow you to have higher defense offerings and maintain Divine Blessing. As I mentioned earlier, Divine Blessing is very beneficial as you progress through some of the slightly harder fights like New Udra, where you haven't yet memorized moves and fight timings. Sometimes the best defense is more defense. Continuing through Chapter 2, you will fight Hirabami. The bow from this monster is worth mentioning as it is the only offering for Frost Element until high rank. You can also craft gloves and pants from this monster to increase your evade window. This will give you an additional duration for your discerning dodge, allowing you to maintain stamina and trick shot gauges more easily as you progress. The additional defense will also help for when you do take hits. A brief shout out here will go to the Nursilla bow. As a secondary weapon if you choose to use 2 bows, it makes an excellent status effect weapon, being that it has poison and sleep coatings. As soon as you can fight a Jarakan, make sure to craft the Fitness Talisman, which will give you another level of Constitution. I suggest using the Uth-Duna bow with this setup to fight New Udra at the end of Chapter 2. Moving into Chapter 3, you will face a number of Guardian monsters. The current set that we have will make short work of Guardian Doshiguma. Following that fight, you are able to face Guardian Rathalos, and we are definitely going to farm a few pieces from him. His bow sports 160 attack, 15% affinity, and 110 fire element. Many of the Guardians have neutral elemental weaknesses, and the more attack and element you can put on a single weapon, the better. To complete through the end of the story, craft this weapon as well as the helm and vambraces. Crafting both of these armor pieces will give you Weakness Exploit 2 and Rathalos' Flare, which will give you a chance to cause additional fire damage after landing an attack. The 2 skill levels of Weakness Exploit will allow you an additional 10% affinity and additional 15% total on wounds. On top of the high base affinity, this means 30% of the time you'll be critting on wounds created on the monster. If you've gotten lucky enough to pick up Constitution decorations, be sure to slot that into the vambraces. This set will work very well against Repelling Guardian Arkfeld and Jin Dahad. Following the fights after them, there is an alternate set that you can make replacing the helm and bracers with Ebony Odogaron pieces. This set features a use of an interesting skill called Burst. Burst activates after landing hits gradually on a target and increases your attack and elemental attack. For bow, you can see here that it increases my element by 40 and my raw attack by 6 with just one piece. With the 2 pieces and the Odogaron set bonus, this increases to 60 element and 10 attack, which is very potent. Additionally, Spread Shot, Power Shot, and your Arc Shots count each projectile separately for this buff, meaning that you can maintain it easily throughout any fight. Before facing Arkfeld and the final boss, it is also my suggestion to pick up the Shi Wu leggings and belt, as they are the first offerings for Stamina Surge available, and they provide excellent defense increases before the final 2 bosses. Again, if you've gotten lucky enough to get Constitution decorations, please make sure to slot them into your gear, as they will make it much easier to stay clear of boss attacks and continue shooting, as well as dodging. If you're confident in your discerning dodge abilities, you can put other quality of life decos into these slots as you see fit. Only you are going to know exactly what works best for your set, but if you're looking for a general all-around tip, Constitution is very good at this level. This is the final setup that I faced Joshia with. While Guardian Arkfeld weapon is the only dragon offering at this late stage of the game and offers an impressive raw as well as 2 slots, the Ray Dal bow offers piercing coatings which work well against this large boss. It doesn't have any special elemental weaknesses for us to punish. That, coupled with the Guardian Ebony Odogaron 2-piece burst setup, made it much easier to deal with, as you have to hit multiple target parts of the boss and can't benefit very much from Weakness Exploit. Once you've slain Zoshia, the real game begins! As I play through high rank, I'll come back with a video or 2 going over some great options for building strong endgame sets to face the challenges of those ranks. There you have it, low rank start to finish. If you thought this guide was helpful, please feel free to leave a comment below. If you think I left something out, or have a guide request suggestion, I'd love to hear from you. I'm Zero Survivors, and until the next time, happy hunting!